Hey, Shalom. I want to start off by giving our praise, honor, glory to Yahweh Shemel Shai Ba'Shem, Rakah HaKodash, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Peace to you, brothers, preaching the truth throughout the four winds. This video is going to be entitled The Power of the Lord is Second to None. Now, reading the book of Joshua, it was key words and things that he said that really shows you like how he has everything already set in the process of it's already done, but being in these chambers of darkness, what happens is we can tend to doubt based off of fear and things we see. Not that it's fear all the time, but when you get put in like pressure moments, that's when the Lord shines brightest to you, because you have a doubt. I don't want to just necessarily say fear, but you have like some form of a doubt, because through that circumstance or that situation that it's it can be something that goes against just the nature of being in these bodies. Okay, so this is Joshua chapter 10 and 8. It says, "And Yahweh Shem Shai said unto Joshua, Fear them not, for I have delivered." Notice that's past tense. He said, I have already done it. So these spirits that the Lord sent forth on these people was already going to have them in array, was already going to have them in a mind frame of defeat. And they knew it was their end, so the Lord already had this set up. Now, if you're in this situation and you saw thousands of warriors, instantly you could have a little doubt. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that that's the case, but we tend to see things in the physical more than the spiritual, because the physical to these chambers of darkness we live in, they're more believable because you see it. You see that if you touch an iron, it's hot, it's gonna burn you. You understand that because you see it, you know what I'm saying? So that's just the understanding of it. Okay, so what he did here is he said, I have delivered them into thine hand. So understanding that it's already set, you know what I'm saying? I've already did the job. That land already belongs to you. You know what I'm saying? So it says, there shall not a man of them stand before thee. So Lord already done all these things and set forth these things into action. All Joshua had to do was just walk into that situation knowing that the Lord had control. It says, and the Lord discomfited them before Israel and slew them with a great slaughter at Gibeon, and chased them along the way that goeth up to Betharon, and smote them at Azekah and into Makkedah. It says, and it came to pass as they fled from before Israel, and were in the going down to Betharon, that Yahweh Shem Shai cast down a great stone from heaven upon them at Azekah, and they died. So he basically said what was going to happen, and he made it happen. It says, they were more which died with hailstones than they whom the children of Israel slew with the sword. So the Lord fought the bulk of the battle. He fought all of the battle. He fought all of it. It was spirits put on those men to fear. Okay? They feared. Okay, so they understood that the Lord's going to fight for these people because they knew who they were up against. They knew the Lord always came through. They knew that the Lord was this was the Lord's favorite people. You know, 12, it says, then spake Joshua to the Lord in the day when the Lord delivered up the Amorites before the children of Israel. And he said in the sight of Israel, son, stand thou still upon Gibeon, and thou moon in the valley of Ajalon. So here's a case where time actually stopped. The Lord stopped time. You have to be a special people for the Lord to actually stop time for you. Okay? And the sun stood still, and the moon stayed, until the people had avenged themselves upon their enemies. Is not this written in the book of Jasher? So the sun stood still in the midst of heaven, and hasted not to go down about a whole day. You look at that, man. That's power. And that's the Lord actually fighting for you to where he would actually stop time for you. And there was no day like that before it or after it, that the Lord hearkened unto the voice of a man. So this is him asking him to do this. For the Lord fought for Israel. You see that? Standing with when the Lord has something and your faith grows when you go through it, just look at how things work. You know, sometimes it's not always going to be a pretty picture, but the job's getting done. And it looks beautiful once you're past the things you had doubt and fear of. You know, once you're past that part, then it's like, wow. And what happens then is your faith grows to know to trust all the way in those dire situations, to where it's like, okay, let me just trust now. Okay. It says, let's see, 24. It says, and it came to pass when they brought out those kings unto Joshua. Oh yeah, jump down some. That Joshua called for all the men of Israel, and said unto the captains of the men of war which went with him, come near and put your feet on the necks of these kings. Now just imagine that. These are kings. And he just called for some men, put your foot on their necks. And Joshua said unto them, fear not, nor be dismayed. Because you think about it, these are ruling kings. Now he's telling them, and think about the confidence that this is giving these men. That we can put our foots on the necks of royalty, what they seen as royalty and kings. And it says, be not dismayed, be strong and of good courage, for thus shall Yahweh Shem Yahushai do to all your enemies against whom ye fight. Now, you take that and you read this. Think about every situation that you go through. You can look at that situation as it may have power. It may have a place to where your situation looks like something, but the Lord is telling you, you have me on your side. Like, I'm everything. You know, all you gotta do is call up on my name. Okay? Call up on my name, and I'm going to get you out of this situation. You know? Joshua 10:24, it says, and all these kings and their land did Joshua take at one time, because Yahweh Shem Yahushai, power of Israel, fought for Israel. That's tough, man. That's tough. When you understand and you believe it, this is how it works, you know. But you have to have that faith to not just look at everything in the physical and understand who's fighting for you. Understand the power that we have in Yahweh Shem Yahshua when we pray and we trust in him, because he's basically made that way. He's made the way for us. All we got to do is walk in it. Okay, with that, I want to say shalom.